Welcome to the Eye on Annapolis Local Business Spotlight. There are thousands of locally owned businesses in the area, some small and some large. Some you may know and others you don't. But one thing they all have in common is a great story, and we want to share it with you. Join us every Saturday as we talk to the founders, the owners, and the managers of local businesses you have come to know and love, and those you will come to know and love. Now here's your host, John Frenay, with this week's Local Business Spotlight.
Well, I gotta say that I'm kind of out of my element here because I'm like the old crotchety old guy in this gaming store in Edgewater. We're here today with James Cloud, who is the owner of Token. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
You know, this is my first. I was peeking in the windows. I was at the steakhouse the other day, and I was peeking in the windows, and I said, "This is a really cool store." And here we are. And I didn't realize that you guys have been open. You said 3 years.
Going on 3 years, yep.
In the most basic sense, what does Token do?
So we are a new concept, hybrid local game store / kind of like family entertainment center. We are very much about creating memories and driving the family aspect and getting people to come together, getting away from their screens at home and coming out and enjoying themselves out in a new place.
You know, I can get behind that because I get tired of just the whole screen gaming thing. And way back when I was a kid, game night used to be fun, and we still do it occasionally. But, you get down and you play the Monopoly or something like that. And I mean, obviously the games are involved in everything else, but to be able to get together and sit with a friend, sit with somebody you don't know, sit with a stranger and figure it out, as opposed to some virtual person on a screen in your basement, has got to be so much better than that.
Absolutely. We have developed an atmosphere and an environment where there are all kinds of new board games out. They're getting more expensive. We want you to come out and try new games. We have teachers that teach everything that we sell. And allows people to play these demos that we have. We have about 80 different demos of all the board games.
Oh, gosh.
You can come out in a table space anytime with your family, crack something open, try something new, or come in on one of our learn and play days and just learn something.
Well, I see about half of your shop looks like retail. Okay, you're selling games and everything else. The other half is all about gathering, getting together, enjoying yourself. You've got right behind me, I'm seeing this, Darth Vader virtual reality gaming room, if you will. You've got typical arcade games as well. And then a whole bunch of different tables that are down, tucked in the back corner of I don't want to say tucked back. I mean, that's probably a good quarter of your space. How does this work? When I want to come in here, obviously I can come in here and look to buy a gift for somebody that's a gamer, and we can get everything right here and purchase it and walk out the door. That's sort of the no-brainer. What if and I did have to Google, your initial name was Token MTG, and I did have to Google that. I'll admit, I go, okay, what's this MTG all about? Is this meetings? Is it?
It does stand for Magic the Gathering. So the card games and board games are a huge part of our business. As you just said,
Sure.
We have the retail space where, we sell all the different things. But at the same time, we have a large table space where we host events for all the different games, usually a new game every day. We have learn and play days for all the different games. That way, new or up and coming kids can learn the new card space, get into trying something new. It helps with math. It helps with learning. It helps with speech. It helps with reading. And
it's
social
that whole
aspect.
Tricky education thing you're pulling on them, huh?
Right.
You don't know you're learning, but what you mean?
Yep. Especially like a thing like Pokemon on our Saturdays, they learn math, with the attack power, they learn how to read the cards, and then they work with our judge to get a sense of how to play the game with their friends. As you said, the Darth Vader Omni Arena is brand new. It is a high-tech virtual reality space with an esports component, so you can win cash prizes. It is competitive, but it's a lot of fun. It has trackers for your feet, so you're running in these proprietary games that you can't do anywhere else. You can't do at home, and we're one of the only places in the area that has one. And then we have the arcade, which is both a mixture of nostalgia and new school stuff like Mario Kart and Luigi's Mansion. And then we have older stuff like The Simpsons and X-Men, and it kind of feeds into everyone has something to do here. All the interests of everyone, whether you're much older or the younger crowd.
For those that can't see this because it's audio, he just pointed to me when he said older, much older. I saw that. Okay.
Where our multi-cade, which is a bunch of 80s games like Centipede and Galaga, we don't even charge for that one. That's something for the adults to play while the kids are having fun.
Really?
Yep.
When somebody comes in to play the game, to learn a game, I mean, I'm assuming there is a charge to come in to play that?
For a learn and play, there is not.
Oh.
That is, everyone can come in, have fun, have a great time. They tell you pay where you play. So if you enjoyed that board game, we have it for sale. You can pick it up. If you enjoyed learning that new Pokemon or Magic the Gathering card game, we have all the sets. You can come and build a deck and learn something new. That's where we kind of see where the flow of money will come in. We also have drinks and snacks while you're sitting here waiting, but we do not charge for table space.
Can we bring our own? Can adults bring their own booze?
So if we do that, I cannot sell Pokemon. And there's a bar across the street.
Yeah, no, I know that. But what, I mean, are you saying that you cannot sell Pokemon? Is there for a reason, or are you just saying that because that's mostly
because Pokemon is geared towards the kid market?
Right.
We are not allowed to do stuff like selling alcohol because that creates a different type of environment.
Is that a your policy or is that a Pokemon policy?
Both. We are very much more of a family establishment.
No, I see that. I see that. But when you said you couldn't sell Pokemon, I thought that was just sort of interesting. So, but that they do put some sort of a restriction on there?
Yes.
Well done, Pokemon, or whoever manufactures them. I'm surprised. I got to tell you, because my kids my oldest is 31 or 32 and youngest is like 26. And they were into the Pokemon cards when they first came out. And I remember probably about 9 years ago when Pokemon Go came out on the phones.
Yep.
I remember being in Ellicott City, just sitting on a bench watching hundreds of young people with their face in their screen going around hunting the Pokemons. And, my girlfriend's daughter still plays Pokemon Go. She still was Pokemon. And I'm like, boy, that game has really had some legs to it that stuck around for many years.
People still play it, and we're actually a Pokestop.
Ah, are you a gym?
We are working towards that. That's a lot harder to get.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
See, look at my knowledge there. I kind of pulled that gym out of that. All the fantasy games. You've got Dungeons and Dragons?
Yep.
Okay.
We host multiple sessions for kids and adults.
Again, I don't play the game. So these are card games that you can sit there and reality card games that you can sit there and play at one of these tables.
Correct.
And I mean, so you can bring your posse down and
absolutely. If you know not a single thing, we will get you up to speed. If you know everything, we have a very great set of people who come already, our great locals that come every weekend, no matter what, without fail. Great group of people. And they just play all day long, and they'll help new people out. And if you're if you have a really powerful deck, they will come at you with their equal powerful deck. But they will not smash you if you don't know anything that you're doing. So it's
they don't take pleasure in it.
There is no toxicity here.
Well, I will say that your store is very unique in that you don't have any competition per se, but there is no place that I'm aware of in the county that, well, certainly that has the esports virtual reality game.
This is true.
But to turn around and we've got the games here. We can sit here and play. I don't know of a place where somebody can sit there and play Game of Thrones or Magic the Gathering or a card game, sit down and do it over a table anymore.
Correct. There were a couple other places when COVID hit. A lot of them went under and several of them closed right before we opened. So it's kind of like a whirlwind, right place, right time, where all those different groups from all those different stores just headed here.
Well, you said you'd been open 3 years, and my mind has been totally screwed through COVID and my sense of timing. So you opened just as it was waning, or as the panic was waning? Let's put it that way.
We opened in October of 2021, and COVID had come, it had gone, it was starting to kind of pass away. We opened at that point, and a lot of the other stores who were open before COVID hit didn't do so well because they couldn't have
right the gatherings. I mean, we're sitting here 3 feet apart, and that was a no-no.
Right. So a lot of them unfortunately went under various situations, and the crowds that went to do what they do here, just everyone started coming here and coming together as a group. So
for those that aren't aware of where Mitchell's Chance Road is in Edgewater, this more commonly known as the shopping center behind the old Kmart.
Yes, Main Street, South River Colony.
Main Street at South River Colony. It's right across from Cooper's Tavern. Fuji Steakhouse is here. The All-American Steakhouse is down in here in Parvilla. James, what got you into this? I mean, are you a gamer by
I am a heavy gamer. Not so much because I have family and a bunch of little ones, but
And a business to run and
yes. But back in the day, I was heavy into gaming. My partner and he was into the card games, and we were kind of trying to figure out something. We ultimately want to do a family entertainment center, like a full blown, kind of like a Dave and Buster's, but better.
smaller.
Yes and no. More like the
Wow.
Walmart of entertainment. So like has everything: laser tag, miniature golf, escape rooms, arcade, full blown kitchen, party rooms, another virtual reality, and just kind of a little bit of everything. And that's eventually what our ultimate goal is, but we had to make stepping stones. So we started with a single box of Magic for $100, and we flipped that for double during the beginning of COVID. And we just kind of snowballed that over a year and turned that $100 into this.
How big is this? How many square feet do you have?
About 3,600 square feet.
Wow. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Well done.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of hard work.
Well, there's still plenty more to come too.
Yes.
I mean, how many employees? I mean, do you have employees here to help the people that are working with the games? I mean, obviously you've got people that'll help to facilitate the sale and everything else. But I mean, how do the?
Me and my partner, his wife, my wife, who's over in the corner.
So it's truly a family affair.
You can put it that way.
That's awesome. Who's your customer? Who's the person that's coming in here more frequently? Is it the young kids? Is it and when's the best time to come, I guess, too?
More like more ad for the card games, more kind of adult oriented, mid-20s to 30s.
Okay.
People have been playing for 10, 15, 20 years. We have a bunch of kids that come in mostly for the Pokemon. Before we had all the entertainment stuff, it was definitely very large groups. Like before we even opened, people started to know about us, started knocking on the doors, kind of see what was going on, and started building that zealot following before we even opened. And then when we opened the door, it was just the floodgates. And then when we expanded into this, then we started getting a whole new type of interest, a whole new type of crowd who are interested in video games, arcades.
It's the electronic versus the hard type of a game.
Right. But this one you can play with your buddies, 4 players together in one thing, the social aspect, which is a huge deal for us, is being able to get together.
I want to talk a little bit about this box behind me and this virtual reality esports thing. And now you told me that this is an internet connected. I mean, so when you're in here competing, there were 4 spots that were in there. And I mean, you're actually somewhat harnessed in.
Yes.
I mean, you've got some harnesses which has the sensors and the goggles and the shoes and everything else, but you're in
it's like a little pod. You're harnessed into a ring so that you can't like run off or hurt yourself or fall. Safety is very important in here. But essentially you are hooked in to everything, and you will compete with up to 4 different players, one of 8 different games, both casually, just to have fun, as well as also competitively. So you can win cash prizes if you have the highest score in the nation for whatever game is the highlight of that month competitively. And then there's also weekly ones that change every week. And then we also have our local competitions, which we set up every quarter.
So when I'm in here playing in here, am I playing with the 3 other folks that are in here against them, or am I playing against a wider?
You are a team. So all 4 of you will work together to get the highest score. Let's say dead zone, shooting the zombies, trying to get the highest score in zombies. If your group of 4 gets the highest score, and the leaderboard is up front and shows you where all the different top places in the nation, if you win, you get $2,000 split between everyone in the team.
Sounds like $500 a pop.
Yep,
not a bad deal.
Not at all.
Have you had any winners here?
We have had several people win different categories. No one's won first place yet, but we did have a team win third for about $500 split between the 4 of them. We've had a team win some of the weekly ones, top prizes for $400. They won $100 each. So we have had teams win. No one's won the first place yet, but we do have tricks and tips for those who...
Well, you said it's new, too. Give it some time.
That is true. It is growing very quickly as the word gets out that it's here.
What is the cost to play this?
So we have non-peak and peak times.
Okay.
So Monday through Thursday is our non-peak. It is $12 a person for the 15-minute experience. On the weekends, it's our peak times. It is 15 a person. We also offer discount cards. So as you purchase different games, we'll punch out different tickets. So you can get up to 50% off or a free game.
With everything costing so much with inflation and everything else, it sounds like this is a very affordable, wholesome way to get out, have some fun, talk to people.
Absolutely.
And, just really, I'm just looking around blowing your mind. I mean, you got the Simpsons game and everything else. And
yep, you can get tokens for the arcade. You can purchase different things for here, where if you buy more games, you get even more discounts. We don't charge table space, and everything is pretty competitively priced. So
when's a good time for a beginner to come in?
Depending on what they want to play. If they are into Pokemon, Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. is our Learn and Play Pokemon.
Okay. And as far as your schedule and stuff like that, that's on your website, which is tokenmtg.com?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. We have a Google Calendar at the bottom with all the different dates for all the different things that we host.
Do you have to reserve spots, or is it just sort of a first come?
The only thing we reserve is birthday parties. Everything else is we have plenty of space for most people.
Okay. You do birthday parties?
We do. We have 3 different packages. We have a Pokemon party, mainly for the kids. That's full encompassing food, drinks, desserts, goodie bags. We take care of all of it.
When you say kids, what do you mean by kids? Okay, because my definition of kids can go up to like 30. Yours is, I'm going to guess, a little bit less.
Anywhere from like 6 or 7. We just had a party this past Saturday for 13 to 15-year-olds.
Okay.
They wanted a Pokemon party because they wanted to play Pokemon together. We also have the VR package, which is 16 games. And then we have the arcade package, which is our cheapest if you just want to come and have fun and do some things. If you get a birthday package, the other elements are also discounted as well because you got a birthday package here.
Very nice. How long have you been doing birthday parties? So day one?
Since we got the arcade last year.
That's cool. Ultimately, your big goal is to be the Walmart of gaming and entertainment.
Yep, but with this sort of atmosphere.
Before we get to Walmart, do we have any other stepping plans? I know that you had a smaller location here, and then you said, we should probably knock down the wall.
That is correct. We started with half the space. Our very first weekend we were open, we were completely packed. We could not fit a single more chair in our table space. So we knew right away it was time to expand sooner than later. So in April of 2022, so just a couple months later, we took over the other side of the suite, put a hole in the wall, and moved our table space, doubled our size for the amount of people we could fit in our table area. And then we did that for about a year. And then we just recently expanded in the end of September of this past year to add the VR unit, move the arcades up front, and kind of have a complete open floor plan.
What is the most popular game now?
Honestly, it is between Magic, Pokemon, and One Piece.
Do they sort of fluctuate between and they've all been around for quite some time.
One Piece is newer. They're only on set 5. Magic and Pokemon have been around for 20 plus years.
What do you see the future of gaming? It doesn't seem like it's slowing down at all.
It's not. It is a continually growing industry. I think if you do it right and you care about your customers and you have the WoW customer experience, you could go anywhere with gaming. Card games as a whole are continuing to increase. Always something new, always adding new stuff, trying to keep that competitive nature together for all the big regionals and qualifiers. I honestly don't know really what to say. I just think you need a place to go. You need a place to kind of get away from the real world and having fun with your family. And
there's something to be said about disconnecting and unplugging as we sit here with electronic microphones strapped to our our collars. But there really is. I mean, I go out and I walk every morning, not this morning because it's pouring rain, but I enjoy not taking my phone. I enjoy just listening to music, or just if I leave my earbuds at home, I'm truly not unplugged, but to be able to get away from the screens, get away from the electronic noise that's doing it, or perhaps to come into, certainly the VR is very electronic, to come in here, but experience that with your friends, okay, because you're having a shared experience. That's sort of what it seems that Token is all about. What is Token?
It's kind of like a meme. So if you know anything about Magic the Gathering, they have tokens. Our arcade also takes custom tokens. We have a playmat that has Magic tokens, making tokens at Token.
Okay. All right. I get it. I didn't know whether it was like one of the NFT things or, that are,
no.
that are going on. Again, I was Googling that and it lost me a little bit there.
It's also easy to say. It kind of rolls off the tongue, and it helps to kind of sway you into getting the idea of, arcade tokens or card games. And it was just really easy to remember as well.
Well, your hours are till late?
1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to midnight on Friday. Saturday is 11 a.m. to midnight. So that's our big day. And then Sunday is 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Gotta love the retail life, don't you?
Right.
Well, it is certainly very rewarding to own your own business and very stressful. I know most people don't understand.
It is definitely stressful, but it is also very rewarding. It's something that we have always wanted to do since we were kids in high school. And just seeing it turn from just a concept into something that's real and tangible, and then having a zealot following of people who just love coming here and just love
that's
having a
the
great
best
time.
kind of a business is when you have evangelists that like what you do, and they just go out and let people know, say, oh my gosh, you've got to come over here to Token, you've got to check this out. Again, South River Colony, Main Street at South River Colony, I mean, there's plenty of free parking here. If not right in front of the store, I mean, just right around the corner, they've got, lots behind there. So you're never tough time to do that.
And most of our growth has been word of mouth.
Really?
Yep.
Good for you. It's cool that this is a true local business. This is somebody that grew up in the area that has decided to lay down roots and lay them down again as far as operating a business here. And I think, I imagine that you probably get a good number of the South River kids and school lets out that come on over.
Yep, people walk. They stop on in.
Token, mtg.com is the website. Again, 133A. I don't know that the A is important, but Mitchell's Chance.
Not anymore.
But if you just go back into the South River Colony, the Main Street of South River Colony Shopping Center, which is behind the old Kmart, which is now going to be like a Tractor Supply store.
It's
or
like
something
a quarter of it's going to become Tractor Supply.
I do want to see if I can set an appointment to come see you when that first Walmart store opens up. Where is that going to open?
One day soon.
I mean, you can't say Walmart in Anne Arundel County, or at least in the southern part of the county, because they'll run you out of town. But just mentioning it. But
no plans yet. It's just ideas.
Well, that's where they all start.
But I'll definitely let you know when we get to that point.
Congratulations on 3 years. There's very few companies that actually survive 3 years, much less thrive and expand. And it looks like you hit the ground running and never looked back. Certainly timing was on your side when you came in with COVID and competition and everything else. But I do encourage anybody that's into gaming to come here, check it out. I'm just looking at shelves upon shelves upon shelves of different games. You've got card games and dice games. You've got Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. I spot a Yahtzee over there off of my left shoulder. What do you have? A couple dozen, or not a couple dozen, probably a dozen tables to sit down and game. And I think I want to come back and check that out. And I like the idea that it's got a little cage that you don't fall out of. So.
Yep, because you're allowed to just run, and they need to make it safe in some ways. So
that's fantastic. Well, James Clout, I want to thank you so much for your time this morning. Again, congratulations on a wonderful, unique business. And thanks for doing it local. And again, anybody, if you're looking for a birthday party, here's a place to go to give it a consideration. Congratulations, and thank you so much for inviting me in. And thanks for what you're doing for the community.
Well, thank you for coming out. I really enjoyed it, and glad we were able to share this experience with everybody.
Thanks for listening to this week's Local Business Spotlight. Please make sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinion. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you all the day's local news direct to your phone, tablet, or computer in about 10 minutes. It comes to you at 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.